That's why it was one of the options.
Look, Patrick, if you're going to come over here and judge my wife, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. Greetings, citizens, and welcome to the Real Comic Heroes podcast. I'm Travis.
And I'm Patrick.
Welcome back.
Yeah. Well, you know, I was away for a little bit.
Yeah.
So we're back in the swing of things, so we're still trying to remember how this whole thing works.
Yeah. So here we're covering what? Dancing with the Stars? Or what do we talk about on this show?
That's easy. It's one of two. It's either Bond or Apes.
And this week it's Apes. Next week it's Bond.
Yep. So that part's not hard. I was 50-50 on that. So although I did watch the wrong Apes movie at first.
Oh, nice. Which one?
The one that follows this one.
Oh.
So I was
Did you watch
lost.
the whole thing?
No, I watched the first half.
Oh,
I was like, I don't get this at all. Did they just go to... But now it makes more sense after I stopped being an idiot.
That's funny. See, and that's the one I have no memory of watching ever. I don't think I ever watched Battle 4. I saw Conquest of the one I guess we should say
Battle Conquest.
Yeah, it's little. Well, it's like the new ones. You got Rise of and you got Dawn of. It's like pick a different, description.
Just call it Apes start stuff.
Yeah.
Apes are doing more stuff.
Yeah.
And then Apes have just taken over everything. Just make it something simple.
Yeah.
This Rise, Dawn, Conquest, Battle.
Yeah. Well, and it's like other movies, G.I. Joe, Rise of Cobra, Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice.
Well, that one's just ridiculously long.
I feel like there's a couple other movies that used Rise or something like that.
I'm just going to call it BVS.
Yeah.
Keep it simple.
So, if we didn't say it, we're covering Conquest of the Planet of the Apes from 1972.
Yeah, I think I saw 73's
Battle 4.
Battle 4.
Okay.
It was so close, and I wasn't... when I searched on Planet of the Apes, for some reason Conquest didn't show up.
Huh.
But all the other ones did.
Weird.
So that's why I started with Battle, because it was like, well, I've seen all
Obviously
the other ones.
It's
Maybe it's because Conquest is in the front. I don't know. But Battle 4 is in front, so...
I don't know. That's weird. Yeah, like I said, I think I watched this once as a kid. I remembered big parts of it. But the next one, Battle 4, I don't think I've ever watched. So that'll be an interesting one. Of course, you've seen half of it now.
Hell yeah. So, did we start?
Not really.
Okay. I honestly forgot.
We were just talking about, we watched Battle 4, and you started watching Battle 4, and I've never seen it, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, it made for a really confusing, 20 minutes.
Sure.
So I was like, wait a second, I don't remember any of this crap. Who is this guy?
Yeah. So you got a leg up on me as far as ape movies go. Because I'll be going into the next one completely clueless.
Well, I was up late on fan fiction sites too,
Nice.
So I got the down low on. Although it mostly deals around with people doing apes, so that's odd.
Oh, good.
As most fan fiction does.
Oh, you're talking about slash fiction.
I don't know.
And then Captain Kirk
that's
sauntered
what
up to Caesar.
That's what I think of when I hear fan fiction.
The Kirk Spock.
It's always like that, yeah.
Okay.
But I blame that on the internet.
Yeah, everything can be blamed on the internet.
Okay, so... yeah. I finally started watching the correct one.
Okay. That's good.
I noticed it jumped quite a bit to 1991.
1991, yeah.
From 71, I believe.
Let's see.
I know that's when the movie came out, but I think it was also the time period.
I want to say...
Because I thought they said something about 20 years had passed.
Caesar is 20 years old.
Yeah. Okay, so
it starts in 91. I did read something about this. It was the movie was. Let's see. I want to. God damn it. See, this is why we shouldn't take like 5 weeks off. Yeah, there was something in the dates, like in 83 all the cats and dogs had died or something like that, so the apes have been around for like 8 years or something like that.
Yeah, that's the part that seemed like crazy sped up.
Yeah,
because I thought it was going to take more time.
Yeah, they could have probably jumped 50 years in the future, maybe give it a lot more time for things like that. So they got on the ball as far as, you know, all the dogs and cats died, and suddenly they've got apes, and you know.
Because I always thought that they evolved to look more humanish.
Right.
But this makes it seem like that's how apes look.
Yeah, that's one thing you kind of gotta, I guess, just accept and get over, because...
Yeah, it just threw me off
weird.
That they picked 91.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, all right, things got going quickly.
Yeah. That does kind of bug me with, you know, the chimps are as tall as people. And, you know, the gorillas look nothing like a real gorilla, you know.
Yeah.
As far as, like, the shape of their body, and, you know, they're all...
And they're already wearing, I noticed, their colors.
Yeah, they...
Which is odd to me. Like, why would you wear your slave uniform into the future?
Oh, yeah,
like the color scheme, you know?
Yeah.
With the green and the yellow and... Well, the red, not so much. I thought they were black and...
Yeah, the gorillas were all in black, like military uniform.
But the mustard and green guys kept it in whatever year they are in the future. That's just weird, but
I don't know.
Maybe it's just a nod to why they
could
wear
be
those
where
colors.
They came from, yeah, that kind of thing.
I was like, okay, because there were a lot of apes.
There were.
It opened up. That scene was very kind of epic.
Yeah, because
like,
it starts off. Yeah. You see a bunch of a group of gorillas, and then it pans across, and you get another group of gorillas and some chimps, and I think it is kind of impressive. Again, with I think the second movie, Beneath, I remember being impressed by the scale and the scope of like how many extras they got. And,
this one was pretty impressive.
Yeah, and for the most part, I mean, there were some that wore the generic chimp or gorilla masks, but a lot of them I noticed had like the makeup kind of mask where it's a little more detailed and not just a open mouth, hollow eye kind of.
I did notice some of those, but more in the ape management center.
Yeah. And I wonder if
I didn't know if that was supposed to be because they're less evolved. They look like the mouth gaped open, and I don't know. They looked worse, but that could have just been budget.
I think it's budget. I think it's just for the background ones, we'll just give them the Halloween mask, and then for the ones that are maybe a little bit closer to the camera, or we'll give the makeup. But also, they probably just reused the masks from the previous 3 movies.
I was probably looking into it too much.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting them to look as much like their future counterparts as they ended up looking, because I thought it was going to be an evolutionary process.
Sure.
I mean, granted, sped up still, but this was even more so.
Yeah.
Like 20 years, all this happened.
Right. No, it starts off the apes that we see in the first couple minutes of the movie are the same looking apes that we'll see in the
2,000
years. Yeah. So, I think it's kind of weird that, I mean, the movie starts off with Armando, who we saw from the last movie, with his...
I was surprised he was back.
I like that he came back. Yeah. It's kind of because I think I said last time that, I enjoyed his character from the last movie. But they fly in on a helicopter to this like futuristic looking city to hand out flyers for the circus.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird. Like, I mean, I get that they need to bring them to the city, but the reason that they come to the city is just to hand out flyers for their circus, and they can afford a helicopter to come into the city. Like, that's weird to me.
I thought of it more as Armando letting whatever his name is, not Caesar yet, but
that I'm unclear on.
whatever his name was, before Caesar, let him see what it's like in the real world, because that's sort of what it felt like.
That's
it was
what
the first
it feels
time he
like.
saw this.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he was like, hey, I'm 20, I want to see what's going on out there, or something like that. But
it seems like a big risk for Armando to bring, the son of Cornelius and Zira to this city where, and it's been 20 years, I guess. So maybe he feels like, no one's going to immediately think that this is the child of those two apes, but, it doesn't take long for them to kind of get into some trouble.
Yeah, well, he talks.
Yeah.
Come on, the one thing you're not supposed to do.
Yeah. But I get the his outburst of
his outrage,
the human calling them, was it lousy human bastards?
Yeah. And then Ricardo tried to take the blame.
Takes the blame. Yeah.
He's like,
"You lousy human bastards!
Inhuman bastardo." I was like, yeah, close.
Yeah, that sounded like him.
I know.
Yeah, I could hear it.
That's my favorite part, is the cops that are like doing the horrible interrogation on the scene.
Yeah, that does kind of sound like
it. Their little kid, soon to be Caesar, struck me as a bit of a whiny, like,
really
coddled. Like, I don't know, he was just like so like Armando's baby.
Okay.
Like,
you mean like while he was being led around by Armando? Yeah, he was
He's kind of white. I don't know. He was like Anakin Skywalker, kind of. I think that's where they got this. Anakin stole this storyline, because he goes from whiny to angry and crazy in the next few minutes.
Yeah.
So he's the Anakin Skywalker of apes.
Nice.
Yeah, look that up. I bet the writers of the whatever 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. The prequels.
Chronologically. Or not chronologically, but story-wise, 1, 2, and 3 Star Wars, I bet a lot was borrowed from this movie.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I'm pretty sure I saw The Force at one point.
Oh, now, see. Did we get off on a tangent last time about apes with lightsabers?
Yeah, hell yeah, we did. You can't not talk about that.
Still would be as awesome, so.
Yes, it would. We were just talking about it, like, before we started recording.
Yeah.
If I seen the new one.
Oh, yeah, new Star Wars.
I was like, nope, still haven't seen
it. Need to fix that right away.
Yeah, well, I'm busy watching Hotel Transylvania 2.
Oh, well, that's a good reason.
I mean, come on. Over the test of time, which one's going to hold up? Classic. Star Wars, Schmar Wars.
Hotel Transylvania is where it's at.
The sequel, not the first one.
I think I saw the first one. It's okay.
Yeah, it's an Adam Sandler movie. You know what you're getting into.
Speaking of which, I guess I heard that his Netflix movie, that Ridiculous 6, it's like a Western.
Oh, that looks awful.
Apparently it's the most watched thing on Netflix, or Netflix original thing ever.
Now, when they say watched, do they mean watched all the way through?
Exactly. I don't know, because Amanda...
Or the dog accidentally stepped on the controller.
Yeah. Amanda and I we figured, hey, we kind of have a thing about if we're unsure about a movie, we'll say, okay, we'll give it 15 minutes. If in 15 minutes, it's garbage, we'll turn it off. I don't think we even made it 5 minutes into it. It starts off so bad, we turned it off right away. So, but does that count as a watch in the Netflix algorithm? Did we contribute to that, or is it?
I think it would, because when you go to your recently watched, it probably showed up.
Yeah, probably. So if that's the case, and I looked on some comments when I saw that post on Facebook, like, to see what other people were saying, and a lot of other people were like, could only watch 20 minutes, only watch 10 minutes,
Yeah.
So I think there's probably a lot of that, like,
I remember
I clicked play and then turned it off right away, but that still counts as a watch, apparently. Yeah. So, but who knows?
I mean, I think a lot of people were just intrigued to see a straight to Netflix Sandler movie. But
yeah.
I remember hearing about the trouble he was getting into with that movie for stereotypes.
Oh, okay. Well, it starts off as him dressed up and made up to look like an Indian.
Yeah.
So right away it was like, what?
Yeah, I figured that was the case.
Yeah. Anyways, this isn't a ridiculous 6 minute.
6 minute. Nice.
Where are we at? Oh, so we got the... I thought it was an interesting touch to see picketers protesting like the ape labor taking their jobs.
Yeah. It was like when people were pissed off about illegal immigrants taking jobs.
Yeah.
It's like, they're taking our jobs.
Taking our
And I found it weird. I mean, I know there was some, like, the reason for Mr. McDonald was... They sort of are comparing African Americans' slavery with
I had that note
slavery.
Too. Yes.
And it's weird that all these African American characters are cool with enslaving.
Right.
Except for Mr. McDonald.
Except for McDonald, yeah.
But
I know I had that note about racism. And there's one character, I think it's one of the policemen that was... How did the scene go down? When Caesar shouts out, lousy human bastards, because they're tasing, or not tasing, but they're kind of beating on beating on another chimp, I think, or might have been a gorilla. But one of the cops says, after McDonald kind of breaks it up, one of them says, "Oh, does he love apes?" And then the other is like, "Don't it figure? Like, is that because he's a black man and seeing like, he loves apes because his ancestors might have once been slaves? Like, is that the comparison?" Or it's a weird line.
It's brought up, between McDonald and the governor. Mm-hmm. It's awesome that the governor is always a douche.
Yeah.
Walking Dead, apes.
Right.
Governor, you're in for a bad guy.
Yeah.
But I always got that feeling that it was kind of awkward ground.
Yeah.
Throughout the movie.
Yeah.
Like, even amongst the actors, I sense like some kind of weirdness about certain lines.
I would think so. I mean, you're not too far removed from a lot of the civil rights movements, and I think even at the time it's still going on.
I saw some of the scenes were based upon like the Watts riots.
Yeah.
Like, I'm assuming the part where they're rebelling and it's like chaos in the streets, fires and stuff like that.
Sure.
I mean,
I give this series some credit. Like, they don't shy away from the
social
issues. Getting in, displaying the social issues and like
they've been
adding
talking about that from the get-go.
Yeah.
That's one of the main topics is slavery and
equality and all that. Yeah. I like that the future cops kind of look like Nazi stormtroopers.
Yeah, I think that too. It was like SS troops.
Yeah.
And it's more prevalent in the rebellion scene later, where they're marching and goose-stepping, basically.
Definitely.
And I like the little monument to the dogs and cats.
Oh, yeah.
Rover.
Oh, God. See, and that's the thing that kind of bugs me. It's like the government at the end of the last movie had the information that it's because the dogs and cats die that humans take up apes as pets. And it's like,
you couldn't have...
that's how it happened. Why do you
get a chinchilla?
No one's going to sit down and watch Planet of the Chinchillas or Conquest of the Planet of the Chinchillas.
It's hard to say.
Yeah. But that's reason enough alone that...
people have other pets. There's birds. There's ferrets. There's... Why go straight to the thing that could rip off your own genitalia and stuff it in your face?
Yeah. Where's that scene? That must have got cut out.
Don't you remember that? What was it? Somebody had like a monkey as a pet and it ripped their face off.
Yeah.
Like
within the last 5 years, right? Like, that was kind of recent, right?
At least in this, 21st century, I know there's been a few horrific mutilations by, I don't know if it's monkeys or chimps, but I thought it was chimps.
They're violent creatures.
Yeah, exactly. So what the hell?
Yeah.
Come on, people. Pick on something that you can handle.
Yeah, it is a weird jump. Like, dogs and cats, well, what are we going to replace them with? Chimps.
Yeah.
And gorillas.
That's
the one, like...
In this universe, they're weaker than humans, apparently.
Yeah.
Because we can beat the hell out of them.
Yeah. That's a big leap to go from.
See, I always thought they evolved to be less muscular.
Right. Yeah.
But seeing this, I'm like, oh, what the hell?
Yeah.
Well, that and like in the cage where Caesar hides out in, they look so much bigger. Those chimpanzees.
Oh, he got in a cage of orangutans. Yeah, and they look huge.
Yeah. In comparison, I mean, they're hairier, they're bigger.
I think it's because
I don't get that.
It's a weird costuming, makeup, whatever. Because remember back in the Beneath the Planet of the Apes,
very emotional.
Yeah. I'll power through it. In Beneath, when they're like. They got the sauna scene where essentially they're naked, so they have to wear a hairier suit over, So essentially, they look bigger when they're naked because the hair suit, adds a lot more mass to them. So they did look a lot bigger in that cage because, even though they were essentially naked. But
I just thought,
they did look big.
Yeah, but you brought up the point I was thinking, like, the apes. I mean. Are going to take over because you take them on as pets and they learn from you.
Yeah, and I get the desire to think, okay, here's my pet chimp. Why not teach him a couple little tasks like sweeping up the floor, and that just snowballs into. You got a gorilla waiter. I think they named him Frank the waiter or something like that earlier on in the city when Armando and Caesar were walking around. It's like that's a big leap to go from sweeping floors to taking orders, and
they escalate it really quick in that ape management center when you see them like throwing flamethrovers at them.
No, that's intense.
The whole scene was just chaos.
It was.
Like, how does anyone learn in this environment? You got strapped down machines saying no to you, and freaking flamethrowers coming at you. You got
trial by fire,
whoopings coming at you.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe it's that intense because they're trying to subdue them at the same time.
Maybe overwhelm them by just shock and awe kind of thing.
There's like noise going on. I was like, I felt like I was in a Clockwork Orange.
Oh yeah,
I didn't know what was going on.
No, it's definitely an intense, like regimented, training facility that. It's messed up.
Yeah, I was just like, jeez. Makes the human target practice seem a
right.
little less.
Yeah. At least, that was orderly.
Yeah. Come on, people.
So basically at this point, Caesar has been separated from Armando because of the whole Caesar yelling out and Armando taking credit for it. Mm-hmm. Armando got taken by the police. For questioning, right? No. They hid out in like a stairwell, and Armando says, "Well, I'll go back, talk to the police, tell them, that I was emotional or whatever, and then we'll get out of here because they'll let me go, no problem." Kind of weird that they separate under those circumstances. Like,
I think it
seems a bigger risk.
He thinks he can't run, so he's trying to nip it before it becomes a big deal.
I guess so.
But I don't think he's aware of how insane the governor is, maybe.
Yeah.
And his henchmen.
Yeah.
Those two guys that were Tweedledee and Tweedledum of torture and mayhem.
Mm-hmm. So obviously this is the point where they get separated. It doesn't take very long for Caesar to get, caught up in the whole...
Yeah. Everyone gets captured quickly in these movies.
Yeah,
so.
That's true. Yeah. These are consistent. So then we get to see Caesar going through the training and everything. And it's kind of cool. Like, I like the scenes where Caesar takes everything in and like he knows what's going on. He can kind of see, obviously, because he's intelligent.
Yeah, he's helping the others.
Yeah, and I do like that where he excels at the training, and then
they said that he didn't even need it.
Oh, that's true.
Like when he's being sold,
right?
But he's still there. Like when everyone else is, he's just like helping somebody pour water.
Yeah,
wash hands. He does it like no big deal.
Yeah.
He's all like proper about it.
I know. I do like that. I like the.
But like, I don't know. He's so obviously different. You think somebody would have noticed?
That's the weird part. Yeah.
Especially if they're still looking for.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, he stands out by far.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
he's
you
basically
think
tap dancing and
right, yeah,
tipping his cap to everyone.
showing off and stuff. You think he would be a little more cautious about, like you said, about standing out, because it doesn't take long for him to gain the governor's attention, because obviously they have the auction scene and he's sold straight to the governor.
And shortly thereafter, Armando gets the whammy put on him.
Oh yeah,
and I thought
start
that
waterboarding
him.
him.
That mind thing that came up made me think of the mutants in Beneath.
Okay.
Where they mess with your mind.
Oh, sure.
Too.
Yeah.
So it sort of clicked together. Like, that's still the big weapon is
That's
mind.
a good comparison, yeah.
I don't know if it... I couldn't tell if it was yelling at him or just yelling in his head. It seemed like it was audible to everyone, but I couldn't tell.
Yeah.
Because it seemed like it was focusing on somebody, so... It made me think of the power that the mutants
Makes
had.
sense, yeah.
And he did not like that.
No. So much so.
He did not take that well.
He chucked himself out of a window.
Yeah.
But I like the interrogation stuff, bringing it back to Cornelius and asking him about, all that stuff that had happened 20 years ago. And just the confusing, like... What?
Well, it's like so obvious. He's like, it was a month before the like whippity doo dah. Like anyone's gonna buy his blame.
Yeah.
I don't know. His acting is awful.
It is, but I just have a soft spot.
But
for
I know
Armando.
it's him.
Yeah.
It's just it's so bad. The whole time I'm like, lies.
Tell the truth.
You sit on a throne of lies, sir.
But I like when he's he plays it off like he's being confused. Like, no, you said Cornelius. He's just.
Well, he was horribly acting being tired.
Yeah.
He's like, what? That's silent. Okay. Yeah, they didn't. What? Who's the? Jump out the window.
Yeah. But it's good that it's good motivation for Caesar. He sees sees his body and everything. And that's when
his switch flips on him.
Yeah.
It's like Anchorman. It escalated quickly because they are collecting Gatling guns, and this one guy shows up with a butcher knife.
I know. I like that. Their meat cleaver. It's like that'll do.
This is escalated quickly.
Very much so.
I mean, he's like giving looks, and people know or apes know what to do.
That always confused me.
That's why I thought the Force was there.
That's not
like,
bad.
Come with me if you want to live.
It's weird because you don't get a lot of vocalization from Caesar in the whole, I guess, supplying kind of montage or the middle of the movie where they're gathering
a little
weapons.
bit when they bring him notes.
A little bit, yeah.
And then he'll tell them.
Talks about like, oh, so and so wants so many.
But he'll make a noise when he hands it back. He'll like really basic noise.
Yeah.
So that's as much as that, but like every other scene, it's like him just looking at him.
Yeah.
And it's like then
all the other apes know, because Caesar will give him a look, and then another ape might like throw down his broom or whatever, just start doing their job poorly. And it makes sense why they do it, but it doesn't make sense how they're kind of communicating with just looks.
Well, he sort of explains it later, where he says this is going to happen over like multiple continents, and like it alludes to like he's got some kind of mental power.
That's what when I remember watching this as a kid, like I think the one time I watched it, I thought he had mental powers.
That's what it basically says, because it starts talking about like other animals.
Seems
that
like it,
spread the word.
Yeah.
So
I don't know about all
the
that.
Force Awakened.
The Force Awakened in Caesar. Yeah, you're right.
These are not the apes you're looking for. Ooh, man, that sounded good on that.
Yeah.
Holy crap. You're welcome, everyone. Nerdgasm. I bet the hair would help. Like, it's just like waving as he waves his hand.
Yeah.
Makes it a little more psychedelic.
Nice.
Yeah. I'm going to be stuck on this. I'm going to have to do some drawings.
Nice. I hope so.
Well, granted, they'll still be stick figures with hair, but yeah.
And a lightsaber.
It'll be very sad. You'll wonder about my mental competency after seeing my drawings. Anyhow. But I like the look. He's just like, let's
just
do this
the intent looks, but
like,
maybe it's part of like being an alpha. Maybe he's like
that's
everyone sees him as being the dominant ape there. So
because he does have a look,
yeah,
in his eye that is different than all the other apes that you see close up are like sort of like not looking at anyone. They're
vacant stares, and kind of like the humans in Planet of the Apes when they never made eye contact with apes.
That's a good point. It's very Heston and the rest of the humans kind of feel. But they never seem to cooperate with Heston.
No, Heston couldn't. He couldn't.
Maybe that speaks to man.
It could be. Heston wouldn't have been able to lead a rebellion like Caesar did.
No, they actually fought him.
Yeah.
As he was writing.
That's right.
Although it does kind of bring up, why did Armando teach Caesar so much?
I think it just happened naturally. Like, if you have an intelligent ape that would have grew up like a baby, like a human baby,
I thought that if he was raised by animals, then it wouldn't have happened as quickly, maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, he probably still would have picked up something somewhere, I'm assuming, but you always hear about those kids that were, like, in the wild and lost, and then they come back, and they're kind of like, what's that, Jungle Book?
Okay.
Or Tarzan, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe if Caesar had been raised by gorillas, I mean, based on the last movie, we know he can speak,
Well, he said, mama.
Yeah.
Which is
But
insane.
still, that's really fast for, an infant, essentially.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it was too late to do something like that, but I don't know. I think more just nitpicking at this point. But
yeah, definitely.
But I thought I was surprised he could write.
Okay.
Like, I didn't think he would teach him. I mean, I understood the talking,
but I don't know. I think that's just learned behavior over 20 years. He's going to develop very similarly to if he was a human. Like, I think that's why I get why
I feel
he
like
can
he
read
was
and
around
write.
Armando a lot more than he
Probably
should have been.
They probably kept him pretty close to Armando, and not. I mean, probably other people in the circus probably suspected that he was a very intelligent animal.
I would hope so.
He can ride a horse. I mean, that was his his trick in the
which
in the
I liked
because
it was a nod to the future.
Yeah.
All
I
that
didn't even think about that, but
that in the net scene later, where they use the net to capture
the
humans
that
are there with their guns. They throw the net down. I'm like, whoa, nets! Where did they get that? This city does not look like it has nets.
That's another weird thing about the movie is I got very confused on what was the city and what was the ape management center. Because obviously the ape management center was in this city, but I got confused on, like, I thought the shops and the restaurants were part of the ape training facility. Like, we're going to train them in these restaurants and in these shops, but
see, I took it as
it was
the
really
city,
confusing.
And then
which happened
ape management was just where they were basically torturing and training.
Yeah,
because it always showed that sign when they were going to go into ape management.
Okay. Yeah,
and then I feel like maybe the city was, air quotes, was sort of like a intermediate. Like, there's still more beyond.
Yeah.
And it was just, we'll make sure they're good in a city before we send them out to the suburbs, maybe.
Okay.
Because the city's insane. I don't know. But, it did, because, I mean, some people had their servant apes, like Lisa.
Yeah.
The one that looked like Zira.
Mm-hmm. And she was played by Natalie Trundy, who was Stevie in the previous movie.
Really?
Yeah, the blonde lady, the scientist lady, that was her in the ape makeup as Lisa.
And that brings it to another weird point. I'm skipping way ahead, but she's the one that says no. Yeah.
She's the one kind of observing everything that Caesar does, and you can tell she kind of disapproves of everything that Caesar's doing. And he's collecting weapons and stuff.
And yet again, he switches on a dime.
Yeah. We'll get to that.
But it's like, it's throwing off history.
Yeah.
So, what's going to happen now?
Yeah, I don't know.
The female ape rules them all.
It'd probably be better off for everyone if that was the case.
I don't know. I remember reading about the females being the more vicious of tribes.
Oh, really?
Because while the men were out hunting, the women would torture the captives.
Really?
Sometimes.
In what, like, society?
Like, I'm not sure if it was... It had to do with, Native American.
Oh, okay.
Like a tribe. Huh. I'm not sure which one. But I remember reading how sometimes the women could be more...
Really?
torturous, I guess would be the way to say. Like the guys would just kill you, but the women would prolong suffering or something.
Wow.
I can't remember I think it was like, it may have been in the Americas.
Okay.
Like Inca area.
I wasn't sure if you were
the
talking
Incan.
about like when you said tribes of women. I wasn't sure if you meant humans or
no.
lions, chimps.
No, like
whatever.
Like tribe as in like Incas and Aztecs kind of thing. Not like yeah.
Gotcha.
But I don't know. It just I could see that if I could see women being more methodical with their methods.
Yeah.
Or guys just hit with rocks.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I always picture like stereotypically guys being more vicious physically and women being
That's probably
having more mental
fairly close. Yeah,
combat.
maybe. Yeah.
I'm like, calling other girls stupid or fat or stinky.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a little girl.
Yeah.
I can't figure it out. I've still yet to figure out women. Let alone the tiny ones that have no control over their hormones.
Yeah.
Yeah. This has been Lady Talk with Patrick and Travis.
Ladies, send those comments to realcomicheroes@gmail.com.
No.
Address them to Patrick.
You'll torture me. I'm just saying, you don't mess with a woman.
Right. No, that's a good point. Yeah.
What's that saying? Hell hath no fury like woman scorn or something like that?
Yeah.
I don't know. You seem like Basic Instinct. I'm saying,
Yeah.
watch out, guys. Don't mess with
women
ladies.
Can be
they will take you down.
Vicious.
Yeah. I'm gonna
Where
get in trouble
are
on that
we?
one.
Yeah.
Hey, Jess.
We're talking about apes, not humans.
Yeah, totally. Man, that's gonna come back out.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Let's edit that out, right?
Nope.
Damn it.
Might trim out a little bit of it.
Whatever. I'm just saying. Look out for chicks. They'll take you down.
Yeah.
As I said chicks, and now they're gonna get mad at me.
Oh, god damn it.
Chicks, man.
Chicks, man.
I was talking about chickens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the whole time.
To the chickens.
Planet of the Chickens.
Ooh. That'd be vicious.
Yeah.
Beat to death.
Ugh.
And they got those claws.
There's another thing. Why didn't we just have chickens as pets?
I know. They can get you eggs
dogs
and everything.
Yeah.
Granted, they're not as cuddly, but I don't think an ape is really cuddly either.
No.
But, anywho.
Where were we? I like that. I think it's McDonald that starts talking about that testing shows the apes are performing better, and that's just a direct result, of Caesar being there and training, and like they can't figure it out, and then Caesar overhears the governor saying like, if they have to recondition too many at once, it'll overwhelm the training conditioning center. I like that Caesar takes note of that. Like he pays attention to that and knows. Okay,
gets the others into the act.
That's why he starts to make everyone perform terribly at their jobs. One of I think his name is Frank, but Frank the gorilla waiter starts pouring water on a customer or something when he's serving, they're at their table, and then the other one, something with the flame that they light at the restaurant, like Caesar orders more fuel than is necessary or something like that, and
which comes into play later. Yeah, he's basically using the gopher tickets they have that they give to the apes, and he manipulates them to get extra so that
I like Caesar taking over the supply chain. That way he's bring all the work orders come to him, and then he adds whatever he wants to the
and then
to him.
I don't understand how nobody notices the extra stuff.
Yeah, who gave Caesar the job of being the supply? Like, how did he get to that? I don't know.
Well, I know because I took it from those red tickets.
Yeah,
he was handed those when he got into the filing area.
That's right. Okay.
And I assumed they were the same thing. Like, they were filing the purchase tickets.
Okay. Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah. And then
we kind of get a couple more scenes with the governor and McDonald and McDonald.
He's got the governor anyway has a list.
Yeah.
Of apes that have been a little too aggressive or too smart or something.
Yeah.
Some kind of list where he needs to look into them further, and it's kind of like he knows something's going on, and Well, granted, he's being a bit crazy about it.
Yeah.
At least as far as McDonald thinks.
And this is one of those, like you had said in the last movie, that, Armando was good for goodness sake, essentially. Like, he's our overwhelmingly positive character. And in this one, you kind of have the governor is your overwhelmingly evil, just for evil's sake. And
he's not even evil. He's just, like, paranoid.
Yeah, very paranoid and very correct.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Yeah.
But then he's got, like, his...
He's spot on.
Yeah. He has his... like you said earlier, his henchman, like one, he's like a mad scientist kind of torturer,
He was good. I liked him.
Yeah.
The backup guy was just there to go, yeah, sure thing.
Yeah, see, now I can't remember a backup guy. I only remember the one torturer guy.
Because there's two guys with Armando in that room.
Okay.
Like, I don't know if one was good cop, bad cop, but
must...
the main guy, I mean, the other guy, he's just there.
Okay.
But the main guy you're talking about with the...
kind of running the board later when they're torturing Caesar,
He's kind of...
Him I remember,
he's just there. He is the one that is really into torturing, and like, he's the evil one, and I think he's just using the governor's paranoia to exploit that and do his nastiness.
Yeah, because it seems like he's really into... torturing and
he's the Himmler of this movie, experimenting and seeing how far he can push his mental machine or whatever that thing's called.
Right. Let's see.
Oh God, I loved the scene where they caught him and Caesar and were gonna put him to death.
Oh yeah.
I just thought it was awesome that he was like, wait, nothing's happening. Let me fake like really getting electrocuted.
No, I dig that scene. It's intense.
It's kind of weak that they didn't check his pulse. But,
or they didn't realize that the machine wasn't working properly. And
well, the guy wasn't looking at it, and he seemed like he was like not really. I don't know. He seemed kind of dumb.
I
don't know a good way of putting it. He was just turning the knob and not looking at it.
Yeah,
because you could see like the needle wasn't moving.
At
all, but he wasn't paying attention to it. But I thought it was still cool that he's like, wait a sec, let me fake this like I am dying.
Right. Because at one point let me think here. At one point they do actually electrocute him, because that's when he's like...
Yeah, that's when they're telling him to speak.
Right, and his words are half pity. And
that was a weird choice.
It surprised me that... Let's see, who was it?
Those
the governor and then the Spectre, they didn't want to study him. Their first move was just execute him.
Yeah.
Like, you'd think that they would want to, like, experiment and study and like, cut open his brain and see what happened, see how...
Yeah, but they've been collecting all this data up to this point.
Yeah, but they have no interest. It's like, nope, just kill him, That surprises me.
Well, I think it's more to his paranoia. He's just like...
I guess so.
It's like, oh, it happened. I knew it was going to happen. Kill it.
Yeah.
But I was surprised at his reaction.
Yeah,
he was almost in wonder.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was kind of like he was like, I thought he was going to be like, oh, well, wow. Like I thought he was going to change his mind.
Oh, okay.
Because like he's like it was a game changer because he could speak.
Sure.
Then he was more human like.
Okay.
But then later he reveals his true feelings about it. The reason why they hate apes so much is because it reminds him or humans of their own inner
their
ape
inner
their darkness
beast or something like that. Yeah.
Because man came from ape and
I have it written down here: hating the dark side of ourselves.
Yeah.
So
which was kind of deep.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that.
Mm-hmm. I like the scene we get with McDonald. Is he meets up with Caesar. And he's sympathizing with him, saying, I wish I could talk to you. I wish, because he doesn't realize at this point that Caesar can speak and everything. And then Caesar just knows that McDonald is a good guy and tells him, essentially what his plan is. Like, he's going to lead a rebellion, try and overthrow the governor, and, that even though the message of freedom is a bit heavy-handed, when you're talking to, the McDonald character, it's like...
I think that was speaking on the Watts rights. Like, what's this violence going to accomplish? It just creates more violence.
Yeah.
But he kept saying that, McDonald was talking about violence breeds more violence.
Yeah.
And I think that's basically what that scene was about, was the times of race riots. And
sure.
I mean, it still goes on today.
Yeah.
Ferguson,
yeah.
Chicago.
What was the Baltimore?
Baltimore, yeah. I mean, it's sadly still an issue. But,
But hey, this is a podcast for entertainment, so let's...
I don't know. What's the point anymore?
Yeah, we can just end it now.
Come on, Apes.
Hey, if we found the will to keep going after... which one was it? Beneath the Planet of the Apes.
Good comparison.
Downer ass ending.
Yes.
So I think we can keep going.
But that does give us a sweet fight sequence.
It's not bad. Some of the...
It was chaos.
Yeah.
And
some of the action, it's like a lot of like...
I mean, it's not perfect by any means, but it was fun to watch.
It was. It's definitely a nice, like... I like that they take over ape management, and then like they gear up and then take on the city, basically.
Ape management, I kept thinking of like a Bond villain lair.
It was very... set design was very close to...
a lot of switches, a lot of cement,
layer,
a lot of angles.
Yeah, and
those
that
doors.
Was... something I wanted to talk about was a lot of the stuff... The city that they shoot in is Century City, which is in like just outside LA, and it was actually at the time was kind of the 20th Century Fox's backlot was part of Century City, and it was like this city that was developed to be a standalone. Like you would work there, there's schools there, there's a hospital there.
Okay. Old school.
Everyone would live in the high rises, and they would work in the city. Like you wouldn't necessarily leave Century City. I remember seeing the city used as like a backdrop for some Star Trek episodes, some of the original series Star Trek episodes, because it just has a lot of that ultra modern angles and concrete and very clean design and all that stuff.
Yeah, it made me think of Demolition Man.
Yeah,
where there was only Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Like that scene specifically, where
you're right.
Everything was just angular cement.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's definitely that. I don't know why we think the future is going to be all clean, ultra modern,
cement,
and, smooth concrete.
Yeah, I think it's going to be more like the Jetsons.
Oh yeah,
you can raise your house above the typhoon.
Yeah,
a little saucer, and my car will be in a suitcase yet not be heavy.
Right? Yeah.
Physics be damned.
Yeah. We're pretty much at the tail end of the movie. I mean, what haven't we talked about?
Quick. Like,
it goes really fast.
Like I said, it escalates quickly. Like it's a lot of montages.
Yeah.
In the middle with prep work for the revolution.
Yeah.
And then Caesar keeps getting caught. As usual.
Oh, that's right. He was. Wow.
Because they come again to torture him about speaking.
Right.
After he had sort of ran away after Armando's.
After his death.
And no, he doesn't run away, but I don't know, he seems to have a lot of free time.
That's what I mean. Like, what was his job that allowed him to be the supply manager?
Because even when he sort of escapes, with McDonald's help, he's off on a run.
Right, and then he gets caught like hiding under some stairs by the two patrol guys. Like, it was weird.
I was like, what did he do? Did he just like cut wind?
And it's like,
how do you get caught so easily?
How difficult is it to get out of the city? Because Armando was afraid to just go back to the helicopter and leave.
Yeah.
That he felt like he had to go explain himself to the cops. Is this city like? Does it have walls and gates that you have to be cleared to leave? I mean, it'd be one thing to get. I'm sure you'd need clearance to take a helicopter out, the way they came in. But can they not just run to the edge of the city and just leave? I guess.
Yeah, there shouldn't be any weird hallucinating flames jumping at you.
Yeah. the mutant.
You would think it wouldn't be too difficult to get out.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a compound really.
Yeah.
Other than the management center, and although the scene in the headquarters, I guess for lack of a better word, is underground.
Yeah.
And the tunnels made me think of Beneath the Planet of the Apes, where they're
all the subway tunnels or whatever they were traveling through.
But the part where they climb the ladder with the noise into that section makes me think of this city, because everything in that underground city is modern looking like that. So I didn't know if that was sort of like a... Because when I saw McDonald, I thought, and all the mine stuff, I thought maybe his ancestors are the mutants.
Could be.
Because the apes aren't hurting him. So I don't know if there's like good humans at the beginning.
Right.
That they don't, kill.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's hard to tell where this is going to go
I know.
because of the switch
The
in
ending,
the plant. Like, he sort of does a 180 once Lisa talks.
When she says no, I think
Lisa talks instead of it being some male chimpanzee. I don't know if they said it was Caesar or not, but somebody spoke at one point. I forget the name of that ape. But it's not. Lisa's the one that talks now.
Yeah, she says no.
And that's what the ape was supposed to say, no.
Oh, right.
But I don't think it was supposed to be her.
Aldo.
Aldo. Yeah. There you go. I knew it was some weird name.
Yeah.
So
that is a weird,
Future has somewhat tweaked.
Kind of got rewritten,
and maybe earlier than expected because of Caesar showing up.
I think so. I think that would change things because, So had Caesar not been the one to lead the revolution, then there would have been an Aldo that would have stood up and said no at some point later on. But maybe Caesar being in the timeline sped things up, probably.
And I don't know if... Because I thought it was weird that Caesar's the one that starts this, yet his brand of ape is not the leaders in the future.
Yeah.
So maybe this is... I don't know if Aldo was a orangutan.
I feel like there's
I thought he was a chimp.
The statue of the lawgiver, remember, I think is an orangutan.
That's what I thought.
I think. So, but I don't know if that's Aldo or not.
Yeah.
Aldo is one of those like loose ends that they never really explain.
Oh, okay. Because I thought
unless
it was
they do it in the next movie, maybe there's something about Aldo that I don't know yet. So
just something that struck me. I'm like, well,
it's a lot of setup for a name that never gets, to my knowledge, doesn't get reintroduced later.
It's a
it's
stupid name, but
yeah.
I'm Aldo.
Aldo.
Although Lisa's not much better. It's how generic is that? The great and powerful Lisa.
Yeah. Or Frank the gorilla.
Frank. Yeah. Frank's the Lisa of the gorillas. He was the first to light a Zippo. Whatever that was, he was trying to...
Frank the fire wielder.
Yes.
Frank's the god of fire, and he's like
Prometheus or whatever his name is.
Yeah, Prometheus was the fire.
He was the one that brought it on the...
He gave fire to the...
He gave it to
people.
apes.
Yeah. That's what they should have touched on. They should have explored more of the ape religion and had gods like that. That would have been pretty cool. Like, Lisa is the goddess of wisdom, or
yeah, she's
like that.
Athena.
Yeah,
and so that means Caesar would be Zeus
or Ares.
Yeah,
or
he's the messenger.
Oh, Ares is the god of war.
Oh, that's right. It's Hermes
is the messenger.
Because I always thought of Caesar as more of a messenger.
Yeah,
because he was bringing the good word of apedom.
I could see that. I guess he could start out. He started out more like Ares, being more warlike and like.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the movie is much more of a.
And he switches so damn quick.
He does.
It was jarring how. Well, quick, I was like, is this like his mental thought? And then I realized he was talking.
Yeah,
I was like, wait, what's going on?
Yeah, let's talk about the ending and what happened. So at the end of the whole battle, the governor is on his knees, surrounded by gorillas. They've got McDonald, but they're not mistreating him.
They were at first, like they were
roughing him up,
and Caesar said, "Yo,
my
boy."
Yeah. So there's all kinds of mayhem, and then Caesar gives this speech, and I'll play it here. I'm not even going to try and hit what he was saying, but
Caesar, this is not how it was to be.
In your view or mine?
Violence prolongs hate, hate prolongs violence. By what right are you spilling blood?
By the slave's right to punish his persecutors.
Caesar, I, a descendant of slaves, am asking you to show humanity.
But I was not born human.
I know. The child of the evolved apes.
Whose children shall rule the earth.
For better or for worse?
Do you think it could be worse?
Do think this riot will win freedom for all your kind? By tomorrow...
By tomorrow it will be too late. Why, a tiny, mindless insect like the Emperor Moth can communicate with another over a distance of 80 miles.
An Emperor Ape might do slightly better?
Slightly. What you have seen here today, apes on the 5 continents will be imitating tomorrow.
With knives against guns, with kerosene cans against flamethrowers.
Where there is fire, there is smoke. And in that smoke, from this day forward, my people will crouch and conspire and plot and plan for the inevitable day of man's downfall, the day when he finally and self-destructively turns his weapons against his own kind, the day of the writing in the sky, when your cities lie buried under radioactive rubble, when the sea is a dead sea and the land is a wasteland, out of which I will lead my people from their captivity, and we shall build our own cities in which there will be no place for humans except to serve our ends. And we shall found our own armies, our own religion, our own dynasty, and that day is upon you now!
And at the end of that speech, essentially is when he's going to kill the governor.
Yep.
Lisa says no, and then we get another... Oh, yeah, it did sound...
It sounded like the human girl speaking for the first time when Heston got killed.
Oh, yeah. Taylor!
It made me think of that. I was like, ooh, this is going to be brutal again.
Yeah.
Except hers sounded like Heston.
Yeah.
It was a nod. Yep. It's a little known trivia right there.
Yeah.
She was impersonating Heston.
That'd be great.
That would be awesome. Anyway, he was doing a speech and was going to kill the governor.
Yeah, complete 180, and then we get some really poorly edited speech.
Yes.
From Caesar saying, no, now we have to put down our weapons and...
But now we will put away our hatred. Now we will put down our weapons. We have passed through the night of the fires. And those who were our masters are now our servants. And we, who are not human, can afford to be humane. Destiny is the will of God. And if it is man's destiny to be dominated, it is God's will that he be dominated with compassion and understanding. So, cast out your vengeance. Tonight, we have seen the birth of the planet of the apes.
Essentially, he says we're going to still be the dominant species, but we're going to
If
do
that's
it
man's
with compassion.
destiny or whatever. He essentially said, we'll let God figure it out.
Right.
It's either going to be their destiny to be ruled by us or not.
Yeah. And so I guess what had happened was the original ending of the movie was very violent. They kill the governor, and then I'm sure he probably then says something about, now it's the time of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
I guess when they screened it for audiences, it was like, no, this is too violent, too brutal. So they edited it, but they didn't reshoot anything. So that's why you get all the close-ups of Caesar's eyes, because they don't have footage of him giving the next speech of talking about
that's what it felt like,
putting down their weapons and that stuff.
It was a whiplash.
It was, and that's one of the... it's unfortunate that the movie ends with a weirdly cut together scene of
that's the apes.
That's the apes. Yeah. Hey. And I guess even the scene of where they're about to beat the governor with their rifles.
Yeah.
They play it in reverse, so they're actually taking the rifles away from the governor. Like instead of hitting him, they play it in reverse, so it's to show that they're gonna ease up on him or whatever. So yeah, I mean, we completely glossed over the Caesar getting his name scene where they just randomly point to it in a book, and it's like, and that's when I'm confused. Is his name Caesar before then? And he just picks his own name, Caesar, or does he know he's picking the name Caesar?
I thought he had a different name though. I didn't think it was Caesar.
And if he does, I don't remember Armando saying it.
It would have been from the previous movie, like what do they name him? And I don't think it was Caesar.
Oh, did they name him after?
They named him after the guy that got killed.
The doctor, yeah. What was his name?
I can't think of his name, and it wasn't Caesar.
Got to be in my notes here. Lucius?
Lucius. It could be. It was something not cool, like Lucius.
Sorry, it's going to bug
Hold
me.
while we flip
It's going to
the
bug
notes.
me if I don't.
You're probably listening and going on your Google machines, and you already know the answer, and you're all like, dumbass.
I've got it right here.
Yeah, we were
Dr. Milo.
Milo
was his original name. Well, there was a Lucius, wasn't there?
I
Maybe.
don't know. Lucius Malfoy.
Yeah. Oh, Julius was an ape in a previous one, but I wouldn't be surprised if
Milo. Yeah, Milo. I remember thinking it sounded like a dog's name.
Well, Milo and Otis.
Yeah.
I don't know which one's which though.
Yeah, I don't either. But yeah, it's now Caesar instead of Milo.
Yeah.
Which is
Caesar works better. It's more
it's kingly, as he says.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was weird that he wanted to. The governor wanted to bring him in on a tradition he had with his mom.
Yeah,
like
that was
the naming tradition.
That was weird.
I was like, that's kind of intimate and personal.
Yeah.
Why don't you just call him number 5 or something, or you there?
Hey there. Well, I don't know what else is really to talk about as far as the movie itself. I mean,
it leaves off where the apes are going to go next.
Yeah.
Like, are the humans gonna, rise up? So it's,
because it doesn't
battle for the planet, or
that's the thing. Like, yeah.
Or is he gonna hop into a time machine with Marty McFly? And
Marty, Caesar,
your kids, they're assholes.
What, do they become assholes or something?
Yeah. Wow, that was a good Michael J. Fox. That was impressive.
Good.
Did you have to kick yourself in the nuts to do that?
Yeah, I just hey Doc, what, do they become assholes or something?
Yeah, no, it leaves it wide open because who knows with this series?
Yeah,
I mean, random time travel happened on the last one. They were able to salvage a ship that was sunk, and then
right. Well, Dr. Milo was a genius, well beyond his years.
Yeah. He was the Doc Brown of apes.
Science.
Yeah. So I would have no expectations if I was you.
Yeah. I have no idea.
I already know where, but
sure.
I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah. It's a weird. So this is
it's
what
a
it's
musical.
like being you.
Yeah. So this is what it's like being me. Hardy har har. Yeah. It's gonna be a musical. It's the Dr. Zayas one finally. Well, I know there's a cartoon one, like an animated.
They did an animated series.
Okay, I saw that when I searched for Planet of the Apes.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, animated. I didn't know if it was a series or a movie.
I think it was on for one season.
Okay.
Yeah. And then they did a TV series, straight live action, for maybe 3 seasons. So I don't know. That would have been yeah.
Because
I think it's more like the original Planet of the Apes.
Okay.
It's set in the future, and it's But
so the battle is the last one until the 2000 or 99ish 2000.
No, it was 2011.
No, I mean the
the Tim Burton one. Yeah,
it's 99 2000.
Yeah, it's right around there. It was right around the time I was graduating. So
the one that nobody likes to talk about, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Yeah. Ever so slowly.
Oh yeah, it's gonna take 20 years.
But at least we're done with apes for a while.
For a while, yeah. Where are we?
Pros and cons.
Pros and cons. Pros and cons. Pros and cons and pros and cons and pros.
You do pros and cons. I'll do cons and pros.
Oh.
Yeah, that just happened. Okay, so
start out with pros.
Sure.
Okay.
My first pro was I liked it didn't mess around too much. It got to the point, you didn't have a lot of dead time. Mm-hmm. And even the montages had a point.
Yeah.
So I just like the
You
pacing.
need a montage.
Yeah. I just like the pacing.
Yeah. No, that was one of my points was the simplicity of the story.
Yeah, it was a good popcorn movie.
Yeah, it's straightforward. The message is clear, if a little obvious. About
I mean, the whole
equality,
series
slavery.
is like that.
Yeah. You know what you're getting.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was one of mine too.
Cool. You have another one?
Yeah. I like the character of Caesar. This is kind of why I went into the franchise. Like, I really dig Cornelius because I was associating Roddy McDowall with Caesar and Cornelius and just playing both parts, and why I like the character so much. But I really like Caesar. I like how cunning, and it's obvious that he's an alpha ape or whatever. And for me, this character kind of makes the whole franchise. So.
Yeah, he was a bit. It was insane how quickly other apes backed down when he did his hiss.
Yeah.
Like, because he's not physically imposing.
No.
Which is what they should be used to.
Right.
But somehow they can sense he's mentally strong, I guess.
I think so. I think it's just that he...
Because, he at no point is ever in trouble with any other ape.
No, none of the apes. I mean, that's...
He is just it, and that's all there is to it.
They do a good job with that in the new ones with...
the
new ones.
Yeah, with Franco and...
Yeah, Andy Serkis.
Yeah.
They do a good job. I think in the second one where he gets kind of challenged.
Yeah, that's what I'm...
Yeah.
Like, there's no challenger other than Lisa.
Yeah, and maybe the next one, I don't... maybe Battle for, maybe there might be a struggle of, like...
Because Lisa's the only one that's on par with Caesar.
Right.
Close to being on par. I mean, she's got one word, but still, she switched his mind.
Yeah.
So...
what else you got?
See, I didn't like Caesar, or as I call him, Caesar Skywalker.
Great Caesar's ghost.
Just because he was so... He changed personalities like crazy.
Okay.
Like,
but I think...
I mean, that's part of the pacing, I guess, but it was just like...
Yeah.
Whiny, like, don't leave me, Armando, I'm just frustrated and scared, and then he's like... I shall rule them all.
Yeah,
then,
it's definitely...
Okay, let's not rule them all.
I just really mean all of them.
I mean, come on, there's generalities. There's some good ones.
But I think the motivation's there. At first, he's in a city that he's probably never really seen before. If his life was basically the circus, then
he was coddled.
He would see humans from a distance, from the stands, maybe have a slight interaction.
It's like humans applaud me.
Yeah,
they like me.
You take him from that to a city where he's seeing people like himself being used for,
wait staff.
Yeah, waiting and being subservient.
Yeah.
And then he sees Armando die. So that's motivation right there for him to, to change character.
But it just seemed like a huge personality switch. Like, he seemed very meek and like unaware of the world, and then all of a sudden he knows how to manipulate everyone. He's pretty crafty. Like, I mean, he's impressively crafty. He's like Lex Luthor of apes.
Very resourceful.
Yeah.
But and I will agree at the shift at the very end when Lisa says no. That's a pretty.
I mean, granted, that's a pretty jarring thing, too, because he's had the hots for her. He knows she's not smart as him, but then she says a word, and it shocks him into...
That could be the big part of it, It kind of shocked him out of his rage, I think.
So I could almost see that more than... Like, I don't know. He just... When I first saw him with Armando, and he was on the leash, and he was just, like, up on Armando, like...
Sure.
And he was just so needy and... Don't leave me. And I mean, he switched quick, and like personality, like he became maniacal and like almost like super genius, like in his plotting.
Sure,
I don't know. It's just weird.
I dig it. Yeah, I don't know
because I don't know. He picked up on things so flippin' quick.
Sure,
because he was just used to like his way, and he had to learn how to walk different at the beginning because he was walking too
much like
evolved.
a man.
And like. He was able to adapt remarkably quickly.
Yeah, and they do a poor job of the elapse of time in this, and they've
Yeah,
done
that
that
too.
with all the movies.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't
You
think about
never
that.
know how much time has elapsed,
That's
really.
true.
So
Yeah, I didn't take that into account because it just went so quick. But that's a part of the pro. Is I like the basics. I can't. I'm caught in my own
yeah,
logic.
lies.
Okay,
Caught you, you son of a bitch.
I love him. And I just can't find this feeling anymore. Yeah, they needed a good love ballad.
Oh yeah. Well, and we
ballad.
got the sexy,
Oh,
the sexy ape. Giving Caesar the come hither eyes.
That down. I
did
wrote down
too.
like ape red light district
Well,
because she was just like in the window. Like,
what I love about that is that you kind of expect Caesar to hesitate or not want to do it, but he just shrugs like, "Huh? All right."
that's the ape part,
I
baby.
love that shrug of like, well, why not?
Well,
I forget. Was
she
that
was hot.
Lisa?
That's what it looked like, but
I think it was, right?
I don't know why
forget-
she would have been there, but
Yeah.
because she was already purchased by that
Yeah.
lady with the hair.
Yeah.
Um,
But I thought that was pretty funny.
I kept waiting for that hair salon scene for them to start picking things and
Oh,
eating.
that would be great. Or just rip her hair out.
Too. But okay, so yeah. Did I say a pro?
That's what I was just thinking. Like, so was
No,
that
I didn't. I just was
pro?
going off of your pro.
Okay.
So my other pro would have been the I don't know. I just really dug the action battle sequence.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't perfect because like
Sure.
fire was on one side and then they were coming at the guys from another, so they clearly could have shot them.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that. But I mean, it was cool, like the shot within the fire and like just
Yeah.
showing how hard it is to. Like, just showing chaos of a revolutionary riot
Yeah.
kind of thing. And
Well-
the fact that it was so well organized with flame traps and then net traps. And
Yeah.
I don't know.
And for
the
a-
fact they had armed apes, like
Yeah.
with weapons.
For an ape movie, we haven't seen this much action,
Yeah.
in a while. And even like we're coming off some Bond movies where they always tend to end with a battle, army versus army. So it's kind of like that
Yeah.
same feel of
And
same.
I will say that I was kind of thrown off by the last group's unwillingness to engage in shooting until the last minute.
Sure.
Because the first group was gung-ho.
Yeah.
And then the second group was like, the governor was even getting pissed. He's like, stop waiting.
Yeah. Was that the ape management team was more?
It was the second wave.
And those would have been just the city, like cops.
Okay.
Maybe it's like a difference in. It seems like it's the same group that they're fighting, but maybe it's just two different. The
Yeah.
cops may be more willing to, hey, stop or I'll shoot, instead of the ape management team being like, screw it, we're just gonna beat these apes and shoot them. And I don't know.
They're all wearing the same uniform.
That's
so
true.
I just figured they
It's
had the same
yeah,
mentality.
Yeah. And they're all, I guess, being led by the governor.
I know it was
so-
done to like build tension. Will they
Right.
shoot? Won't they shoot? But
Yeah.
it was just that part dragged on. I was
Yeah.
like, geez, what are you waiting
Yeah.
for? But yeah,
No, it's
battle
a good,
sequences.
Yeah.
It was kind of fun.
I didn't have that as one of my pros, but I probably should have. I had my last one was just McDonald's character. He's at the edge of being good for good sake, like Armando from the first one, but he's not so overwhelmingly. I'm a good guy and I love apes, But he eventually makes a choice to do what he feels is right, and I think that's the right character to have make that choice.
There's a scene where his face is like, ooh, I kind of regret this now.
Right? Yeah, yeah. When he's looking at Caesar as he's giving a speech, I think
Yeah.
he's like, "I've made a huge mistake." So that's my last pro.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I liked McDonald. He was kind of like the I don't know, the reference point for humans and apes, because he talked about he's sons of slaves or
Yeah,
ancestors or
yeah.
slaves or something
Yeah.
like that, and he knows how it is, and he's trying to relate with the apes more.
Yeah.
On that level, as far as inequality, and it was a ballsy move to equate
Yeah.
those two characters, but they've been sort of tiptoeing around.
They've
it
been
the whole
dancing
time.
around that, yeah.
But this time they actually said, This is
Yeah.
what we're talking about.
Yeah. If you haven't got it yet, people,
They just hit you over
slavery
the
is
head.
bad.
Yeah. So I don't know. It was kind of cool that they just straight
your
out
face.
say that.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it was leaving no doubt, essentially.
Right. No, yeah. That's what I was saying earlier. Like, the message is clear, if not a bit heavy-handed.
It's totally. I mean, they're making sure that even kids know.
Yeah, yeah. And that's
who is going to see it.
Yeah, yeah.
Because these are geared towards
Right.
kids.
Yeah.
I mean, they're supposed to be.
And this is the only movie
PG, isn't it?
that got a PG instead of a G rating. So,
Yeah. And
like the rest
I'm
of
assuming it's because of the violence. And,
oh, yeah, totally.
even though it's not like today's standard, like you don't see much.
But it's intense. It's all at
Yeah.
nighttime. It's all like flames and fire and just very ominous. And
You see bodies on the ground. You don't see
it's a
anybody
lot
get
for a
shot.
kid to-
Yeah. Because, I mean, they have stuffed humans. They have a shot to the throat. I mean, it's fairly... It's got some stuff, but this is like chaotic.
Yeah.
And there are bodies lying all over.
Well, especially when they advance on the humans, and it's just you keep expecting. I think at one point later on that the apes outflanked them, but that first time they just advance on them and just get mowed down, and some of them get through it and some don't. And
Well,
it's
they
intense.
They got to perfect their battle skills.
Yeah, they're not
very Civil War
trained warriors. Yeah.
Like, hey, you stand there, let's go.
Yeah.
But cons, I guess.
Yeah, I'll start with like the previous movie. It just felt a bit made for TV, because it just felt the same. Like some of the obviously the effects and the some of the acting just felt a little TV movie, and that's one of the cons I had in the previous one.
See, I had the opposite. I thought it felt more movie-like because of the scale.
Really?
Because there were just so many apes.
I think,
like at the beginning, it was very epic feeling, and then the end. But yeah, I could see that in the middle where you're.
For me, I think it's you. I feel like we see the same 3 sets throughout the entire movie, and they do make use of the space of the city, but it's still like a big backlot, So I think it just, and there's no. This is the one. There's no pre-title sequence. It just you turn it on and some credits and some ape.
Well, I mean that's sort of the story though. It's stuck in the city and the ape management. It's not really addressing anywhere else because nobody apparently can escape.
And that's not a big con for me.
Yeah.
It doesn't take me out of the movie. It's just enough that it's like, whereas the first 2 felt like movies, and then the previous one felt like a TV movie. This one still feels like a TV movie to me.
I did feel, however, that city was obnoxiously empty.
Yes.
And that apes were outnumbering humans.
Right.
I was like, man, these humans are screwed.
Yeah.
There's like 8 guys.
It's no wonder you think that, well, maybe they could take over the world.
Yeah.
But
a bunch of people kill themselves after their pets
all
died.
the cities are empty.
Because, they're like, go back to your houses. Okay, John, Sue, and Steve, go back to your house. There was literally like 5 people on the street.
Yeah, so you don't get a lot of like, we know this is happening in this city.
Yeah.
What's happening in the city close by, I like that. That's kind of one of those things that the Rise of the Planet of the Apes, the first of the new ones, it's like, the movie ends with this big battle and apes take over the city, but then you think, well, in Chicago everything's fine, but then they end the movie with like, they show a dude getting on a plane with a virus, and then the virus spreads. That's how they eliminate the human population
like the
so
movie Outbreak.
Quickly. Yeah. So,
and there was a freaking monkey there. I think it was one of those capuchin ones.
I think so. Yeah.
It's always the little ones.
Yeah.
Gotta watch out for them, people. All right, it's time to get rid of all these primates.
Yeah,
They're gonna take us down eventually. Let's nip that in the
First,
butt.
it's going to be the dogs and cats, and then what's going to happen after that. And I like I think they touch on this. I don't remember if they explicitly say it, but I think it's the apes that bring the virus from the future that kills the dogs and cats.
Yeah, so that's
I like
the whole
that
time
it's
travel thing.
Yeah, it's
but then it throws
a
off
vicious cycle.
The whole who spoke first thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Time travel always.
I've gone cross-eyed.
It's a horrible writing mechanism, unfortunately.
Yeah,
because it can,
if not done well, it can be.
Yeah, it can get hairy.
Mm-hmm. Oh shit.
Wow.
You got another pro or another con?
I conned that last comment.
Yeah. File.
Wow. That left a bad taste in the palate. Another con, I'd probably say the ease as to Caesar's control over other apes. Like, it's just weird that he could just flip it on and like everyone just follows his orders so easily.
Sure.
Like, there's no absolutely no struggle. It's like they were waiting for him. It's like, oh, he's here. I'm gonna dump this trash can now, and like they know what he wants them to do.
Sure. Yeah, the whole vagueness of, is he mentally communicating with them? Yeah, that
like it alludes to him having mental powers.
It does
heavily.
Like I said,
like even at the end, which is sort of a con, but I understand why it is the way it is now that you mentioned they had to change the ending.
Yeah.
Because that scene made it seem like he could communicate over continents. His plan to overthrow, like he said, it's going to spread.
Yeah.
But how the hell is it going to spread if you don't have some kind of mental... if nobody makes it out of here alive?
Yeah.
Like...
I don't know. That part's a little too...
That's just
too vague for me.
Because they brought up some other animal that could communicate telepathically,
over distances.
Over distances.
Yeah.
So it made it seem like he could do that too.
Yeah, I don't know.
And he could do it better.
Right.
Like, he's like, oh, that distance, 6 continents within a couple months. I'm so smart.
Yeah, I'm the smartest ape in the world. It's like saying you're the... never mind.
For the smartest ape in the world, he sure took the front line like a dumbass.
Yeah.
It's like he goes down and they're pretty much SOL.
Yeah. My second and last con, the ending doesn't know what it wants to be.
Yeah.
And that's that just goes to that, they shot it one way, audiences didn't like it, they re-edited it, and I think they edited it poorly with some good voiceover that just doesn't match up with what you're seeing. So it's weird that you're only seeing Caesar's eyes and you're hearing this voiceover, and
I know, I couldn't figure out. Like, I was like, that's why I thought it was coming from his
the
head.
mental thing, yeah. Is he communicating telepathically? And had they made that choice, it's like, I want to see that movie. I want to see the Gorilla Grodd, like, I'm going to control you mentally, and that would be great. But so for me, just the ending, they're good speeches. The two that he gives, the one about controlling man, and then the next one about putting down their weapons. They're good speeches, but they are 180 degrees of each other, and it doesn't give you an idea of what he's saying. Makes it sound like we're going to put down our weapons and just go home, and we're going to forget this happened. But then he still says, you've witnessed the rise of the Planet of the Apes. Yeah. So
he's like,
are you then going to pick your weapons back up?
Yeah.
Was it symbolic to drop the weapons, but you're still going to control the humans, so you'll have to pick up weapons again?
Yeah.
So for me, it just, I don't know.
He went from like Hitler speech to Gandhi.
Yeah, and then but even in the Gandhi speech, it's still
a little back towards.
Yeah, we're still gonna control you. We're just gonna not do it with weapons. I don't know. It's bizarre.
We'll control you the ape way, not the human way.
Because he says even that humans will be their servants and something like that.
Because I had always thought it was a plague that took out a chunk of the humans. I didn't think it would be a full-on.
That's what the new one does.
Yeah, because this doesn't make any sense.
Right. How do they control the entire planet?
There are a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. There's 1 billion in China alone.
Right. So it'll be interesting to see that next movie. And do they just gloss over okay, we took control of the planet, now the planet's ours? It's like,
probably.
How? So that's, I know I only had those 2 cons for me, so.
Okay. Rate it.
Do you have any more cons?
Nah.
Okay, cool.
I think I've sort of
lumped them all.
There.
Yeah. That's fair. What are you gonna give it?
What are you gonna
give it? I think I'm kind of middle of the road with this one. I'd give it like a 3.
That's exactly what I was giving it, because it was a good movie just to watch.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't great by any means, but
No.
I didn't dread watching this.
Okay.
It was,
See, and I think
it was fun to watch.
Good.
To see, because I was like, oh yeah, he's gonna get him. Governor's going down.
Yeah.
It was just a lot of fun.
Good. And
Okay, so let's do the math. That's an average of take the
7? How did we get there?
carry the 1, exponent this, square root of a this. Okay, so 3. You're welcome. I did that all in my head.
Oh, good.
That's impressive. Yeah. So it's just an alright movie.
It's good. It's good with the series.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you're feeling like you want to watch all the 8 movies, put in Planet of the Apes, skip Beneath, go to Escape From, and then this is a good follow up to Escape From.
I always felt was more TV because it was so schlocky. And
But I still like seeing apes in what was modern day.
Yeah. I think that's what made
America.
it seem so hokey is because they took them on like a weird
the montage
celebrity whirlwind tour.
I like it.
And so I thought it was like a special episode of Apes in the City.
A very special episode.
It was very, I don't know, it was weird to me. Yeah. So I'd go Planet of the Apes and then this one.
Okay.
As far as ranking.
And you could probably...
And then the third one and then Beneath.
Yeah. So
far.
Yeah.
We'll get to Battle.
Yeah, I'm excited to do that one. And looking at our list, that's actually next. I thought we were going. Yeah. I thought we were flip flopping and going back to Bond, but I mean the next one, Battle for the Planet of the Apes.
We're done for a while.
With apes, yeah, until I think 2001.
Yeah.
So it'll be a long time before after the next one. So
you don't know what you got till it's gone, people.
That's right. Yeah. Maybe we should go back and give Beneath another look-see.
No, I know what I got, and it is not coming back. Leave it to be gone.
So yeah, we're wrapping up, and let's see.
What do we got after Battle?
After Battle, we have Live and Let Die, which is going to be our first Roger Moore Bond movie. Yeah. So that'll be exciting. After that, we'll have... Another Bond will have Man with the Golden Gun, because I don't think we're going to be able to do Wonder Woman. It was like a TV movie, and it's not even like Linda Carter Wonder Woman, so lame. I think we'll probably skip that one.
Okay.
And then we jump to 1977. It's a little movie called Spaceballs.
Spaceballs. Oh, yeah. If I
star something.
I don't think Hangover Reviews enjoyed Spaceballs very much.
I don't like Spaceballs either.
I know you don't either. It seems like one of those movies you had to watch it at the right age.
Yeah.
Like, I caught it at the perfect age of 9 on VHS.
Okay.
At a sleepover, and we were all giggling because he said, "I'm surrounded by a bunch of assholes."
Yeah, and see, that's probably the thing. Like, I didn't see it as a kid.
Yeah, it's perfect for like a 9-10-year-old.
Yeah,
like hokey jokes.
Yeah,
and I'd seen Star Wars before, but like I'd never really. I'd seen it as a kid, so I wasn't that into it. I just, I like the Ewok-y people.
See, and I don't even. I don't know if I've ever made it through the movie to see that part. I've probably watched the whole thing.
No, I mean in Star Wars.
Oh, the Ewoks.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant there were Ewok type.
There are.
Okay.
Because, Yogurt, the great and powerful.
Okay.
He's got little Ewok guys.
Okay.
Get them to the yogurt layer.
Okay.
Yogurt's Yoda.
Yeah.
It's
no, I got that.
It's very subtle.
Okay.
Yeah. And Pizza the Hut.
Yeah.
You might be able to figure out who he's supposed to be if you're really brainy. That's what Spaceballs is. It's
right.
See, stupid.
And I like Mel Brooks. I like his humor.
And it's probably one of his worst movies. But for me, it's just I can put it on and just have it in the background for a hangover.
Okay. And
chime in every once in a while when they have an homage to Planet of the Apes at the end.
Do they?
With when their spaceship, Spaceball 1, turns into a giant maid robot transformer.
I remember
to suck
that
the
part.
air out.
That
And then they flip the switch, and she goes from suck to blow.
Okay.
And blows the air back in, and then it self-destructs.
Oh, God.
And the maid kind of looked like the Statue of Liberty, so it landed on the planet.
Oh, okay.
And they're walking, and they're stuck on the planet coming out of the nose.
Yeah.
And the apes are riding up on horseback. And they're like, oh, bloody space balls.
Oh, my God.
That's awesome.
I've not... No.
Okay, we have got to watch that movie now in our list.
All right, we'll add it to the list.
And
That's
you
fair.
are going to love it.
Oh, God.
I think we're going to have to do a live commentary for that one.
Okay.
Just to hear Travis go, no. Yeah, it definitely
All right, we'll add it to
defiles
the list.
many geeks.
I'll give it a chance.
Yeah, I'm guessing not many. You're either going to love it or hate it.
Sure. Okay.
And love it for just nostalgia reasons, because
Yeah.
it does not hold up. Although Rick Moranis is much better Dark Helmet
Right.
than Anakin.
I hate sand. It gets everywhere.
Yeah, that's going to be good.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll watch the first Star Wars.
Yeah. That's going to come after...
The real first Star Wars.
Star Wars.
New Hope. I remember seeing them in the theaters when they remastered it.
Yeah.
And I was like, huh?
Yeah.
I was like,
Most of the changes I'm fine with throughout the...
I was like, the
throughout
only thing
the-
I noticed, it looked faker. Because the CG...
It doesn't hold up.
I mean,
like, yeah.
they tried it. No, even at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like, that's the problem with CG, is that it's showing you things that shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And pretending like it is real. Whereas...
That's true.
If it's props, it grounds it more.
Yep.
Because I don't know.
I agree.
When CG was young, it was abused.
Yes. And the problem is, at the time, it was like, oh, wow, look what they can do. But that stuff doesn't
Doesn't
hold
mean you
up.
should do it.
Right.
And the newer trilogy is evident, because I swear, I thought I was watching The Fifth Element at one point.
Yeah.
With the car chase, or the...
Sure.
Not
Attack
car,
of the
but,
Clones.
yeah.
The sky
I was
chase
like, wait,
kind of thing.
where's Lilu?
Multi-pass.
Lilu Dennis. God, I can't wait to watch that one. I love that movie.
Yeah, I do too.
It's is that a cult movie?
I think so.
Because I don't think it did that great in the theater.
No, I'm sure it didn't. No, we love that movie. I think it's regarded pretty well.
Because my brother loves this scene when Bruce Willis gets hit over the head with a trophy and they take his tickets.
Oh yeah,
and he was he's just like acts so horrible.
Oh yeah,
it is great.
We should have your brother
chime
do
in
a guest
on
that show.
I cut that out, played it on a loop, and made a little and sent it to him. And I swear, his girlfriend was like, "Never do that again."
Nice.
He has been watching that and giggling like a little girl
That's
for
awesome.
a half hour.
What was I going to say? This has nothing to do with movies we've been watching, but I've been doing the Doug Loves movies, 360. This year it's 366 movies. I think because of leap year or something like that.
Yeah.
But I'm doing the Doug Loves Movies challenge, where you watch a movie not every day, but you watch
that many
movies in a year.
So you can binge on the weekend.
Yeah. Last year I only made it to 105 movies. Doug made it to all 365.
That's crazy.
But he does a lot of film festivals where he'll see 5 movies a day or whatever.
I was gonna say, he seems like a busy dude.
Yeah. But this year so far, I've watched 7 movies or whatever, and I have been killing it as far as movies I've seen. I watched Ex Machina.
Yeah, I was gonna watch that. I heard everyone like that one.
I watched Prometheus, which I thought was really good. The Alien prequel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't mind that.
Really
I know people hate
that.
it. Cat gives it 2 meows.
Cat. What else have I watched?
Prometheus, I'm surprised.
I really liked
it. A lot
it.
of people hated it, but I
know.
liked it.
I liked the setup for the Alien, universe or whatever. What else did I see?
Wolf Cop.
That was last year's list. I've seen some really good movies so far this year. Fury, the tank movie with Brad Pitt. It's really good. Yeah. Makes me more excited about Suicide Squad, with the
Oh, is it the same director?
same director.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah, I just got to get over the Joker in that movie.
Yeah,
It's just
I like Jared Leto, so I'm not.
yeah, he does.
I'm not worried about the Joker. He looks weird, but
I mean, I think it's just because we're coming off a Ledger.
Yeah.
And he looks like... I mean, I don't think the art for that helped. I think it looks better in the trailer.
Yeah.
The artwork I saw ahead of time looked very
the promo shot of him. Yeah, I didn't care for that,
but it looks a little better in, on film.
Yeah.
And Leto, I don't know, he can transform.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, like what you would call it, Fight Club and
At Dallas Buyers Club. He was pretty impressive. In that,
he did speaking of a movie you need to watch, if I could freaking remember the name of it. He plays the guy that shot Lennon.
Oh, Chapter 27?
Yeah.
I never watched it, but...
That's pretty good.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it is eerie how much he looks like.
Yeah, well, he gained like so much weight
70 pounds, I think.
Mark David Chapman. Yeah. No,
but,
that's one of those that I should watch.
Like him.
Yeah.
Like, it's weird.
Yeah.
I think that sometimes, like when... what is it? That movie with Charlize Theron.
Oh, Monster. Yeah.
Where I'm like, I've seen ladies look like that. Does that mean if they lost weight, it worked out, they'd look like Charlize Theron?
I don't know if it works in
and
reverse.
Would Chapman look like Leto?
I don't know if it works that way.
That would be insane.
Yeah. I like
Chapman
that
looks like a freak.
Yeah.
Like, he looks like that. He looks like somebody that would be a serial killer. And now I'm thinking, when I see Leto... Now I think, okay, he's just a really hidden serial killer.
Yeah.
But then there's the good-looking serial killers.
Yeah.
Like Bundy, that was like suave with the ladies.
Oh, okay. I watched a...
You get the ones that look like they have been like abused and kept in a basement, and they're like, you know, pale and like sickly looking almost. And then you have the guys that are like, look like lawyers, like American Psycho with Bale.
Yeah.
So it's like...
Patrick Bateman.
Patrick Bateman. Oh, sorry. The Patrick Bateman, American Psycho. Christian Bale, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, we got off on
a
tangent.
No, I'm happy with that.
So the next one will be Battle for Planet of the Apes.
Next time, Battle for Planet of the Apes. These are still on HBO, so
get them while you can.
Yeah, I don't know how long they'll stay there, but it's kind of cool that they're on there, and they're all on there.
Yeah.
Next time, Battle for the Planet of the Apes. Between now and then, you can find us on Twitter. We're at Real Comic Heroes. We're on Facebook. We're Stitcher and iTunes, and we're online. So just follow us and listen to the other episodes, and let us know what you think. Send us some feedback and questions and comments to realcomicheroes@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you.
Till then, I'm Patrick.
I'm Travis.
See ya.
We want guns!
Now, the final chapter in the incredible Ape Saga.
There it is, or was.
This is the hell my forefathers used to speak about.
This background radiation alone will give us 300 Röntgens an hour.
The battlefield, a dead city 12 years after the ultimate bomb has been dropped. The prize, the right to inherit what's left of the Earth. The contestants, ape against man. The most unbelievable showdown ever filmed. As the mutants, strange, transformed men who live underground like moles, battle the apes to decide who will be master and who will be slave.
They're getting away. Kill them.
Murdered my son.
We will smash the human, and then we will smash Caesar!
I don't want to have to remember my husband. I want to love him now.
But we who survive create a new race.
In the aftermath of his victory, the surface of the world was ravaged by the vilest war in human history.
Climaxing the epic series which made motion picture history comes the last, the most spectacular of all the ape adventures. Out of the Forbidden City they roared, to settle once and for all who had the right to rule the planet, ape or man.
God, what is
or what's
wrong
the
with me?
what's the monkey grinder like?
Oh yeah,
Or that's the,
no, that's the Jack in the Box.
It's more like organ.
It's the Ice Cream Man, but
yeah.